jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
What's good? Good morning. You already know WCS back at it once again. And you already know, big salute to the supporters of the channel. First in the MF building is Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. You already know, salute to the first in the building this morning, man. We halfway through the week on the big and better things. You know what I'm saying? We have a legendary fighter returning back to the cage this weekend. But first, let me get to Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease, a.k.a. Sucker Free, on deck with it. You already know, Gumbo. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. Hit the like button. The XO Factory in the building. What's good, OG? I'm on deck, bro. Let's hit those likes. Everybody salute the XO Factory on deck. You already know, XO. Salute to your brother. We're gonna get this cooking. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like a nice warm brunch. You know what I'm saying? Brunch. Because we damn near at the mid part of the day. Shout out to Cam in the building. Let's go. He's on deck this morning. Shout out Cam. Appreciate you pulling up. Michael Johnson Boxing talking more. He say, what happened now? Dude, Michael, I am not, in war mode every time I come on live, dog. I'm not on the war path every time I come on live, man. Come on, man. Give me a break, man. Give me a break, for real. You got to give me a break. Shout out to everyone in the building. Much love to you. Appreciate you supporting the channel first and foremost. You already know the thumbnail. It's a message always in here. I got to start out with Gervonta Tank Davis. Why? Because he is indeed a big deal. I'm saying, you already know Gervonta Davis, right? AKA Tank, AKA L Chin Checker. You know what I'm saying? L Chin Checker. 28 victories in 0 defeats and 26 knockouts. Everybody was talking about, the court date, and it's going to stop this fight. From what we hear, the fight is going smoothly. Everything is in the right direction. The pen is basically where it's supposed to be with the ink in the right areas. You know what I'm saying? Signing a contract. So Gervonta Davis, man, I want to first highlight him being a pay-per-view star. Him having a pay-per-view star. Him having more pay-per-views than Errol Spence Jr. I thought I'll let you know that because some people get confused as to who's the biggest name over there at PBC. You know what I'm saying? And Showtime. I know who Gervonta Davis is signed to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, in that location over there, Gervonta Davis is the guy. Period. Not to mention, right? Not to mention, out of his last 5 fights, he's 4-1. Y'all know what 4-1 is when it comes to Gervonta Davis? Out of his last 5 fights, which have been pay-per-view, he is 4-1, 4 knockouts and 1 going to the decision. He is man down. He is the truth. And when Rolly Romero stepped in there with Gervonta Davis, man, he went out in 6 rounds. But Alberto Puello is set to face Rolando Romero. And you know, that's in itself, you look at the magic of this whole shit. You can't call it boxing business. This is not boxing business at the end of the day, just because people believe Rolly Romero's stock went up once he was knocked out by Tank Davis. No. It might have went up a little bit, but come on, man. We don't see this too often, and we don't see the logic in Rolando Romero getting this next fight. But Alberto Puello sent out a tweet and say, it's official that I fight at sign up for KOs in May. And I said, God damn it, Tank has another fight coming up. Tank is going to step in there with Ryan Garcia and then step in there with a Puello for another title shot at 140. Is that what I'm looking at? Because deep down in my heart of hearts, I felt that the only person that can have a handle like that around that division was Gervonta Tank Davis. Because when you step in the ring with Gervonta, you're signing up for a KO. His last 5 fights, he's 4-1. The only fighter to go the distance with Isaac Cruz. I'm speaking of the last 5 opponents before people say, no, man, no, man, no. They be sounding like robots and shit. No, WCS, no. I'm talking about the last 5 opponents. Gervonta is 4-1. 4 knockouts, 1 decision. His handle should indeed be signed up for KOs, not Rolando Romero. He couldn't even knock out Jackson Martinez, the fighter that was jacked over in Connecticut for the interim WBA title. You know what I'm saying? Who's signing up for KOs when you being dropped in sparring like that? So that's why I put Gervonta on the thumbnail. I say, the first thing came to my mind, I said, Gervonta got another fight coming up back to back. This is going to be his 3rd fight in 2023. And he's going to turn right back around and fight Puello. Because he has to be the one that has the handle sign up for KOs. Nobody else. It can't be Rolando Romero. I say, this is a joke. There's no way this is true. There's no way in hell this is true, man. This has to be Tank Davis. Because he's the only one knocking people out. I'm talking about around these lightweight and super lightweight division. This man is pay-per-view star right now. He's going into another pay-per-view. This will make his 6th pay-per-view, y'all. Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Isaac Cruz, Rolando Romero, Hector Luis Garcia, and now Ryan Garcia. If anybody and their mama should be online with a sign, with a handle, sign up for KOs, it should be Gervonta Davis. Unfortunately, that handle is under Rolando Romero. So we know we're getting Rolando Romero and Alberto Puello, but I just wanted to put it out there and kind of, spice it up a little bit because the YTC is just a little bit too serious for the wrong reason. They're a little bit too angry. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit too angry, especially when people come over here and they don't know what the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? A little bit too angry. So, of course, WCS has to keep enlightenment, make it healthy. You know what I'm saying? Have everybody breathing normally, no high blood pressure, get ready for another weekend that's on the horizon. And I just want to, intro that was I on point with Tank versus Puello in my guess? No, I wasn't. I was off. I just wanted to spread the point that the only person that can have a handle like that right here, right now, is Gervonta Tank Davis. Sign up for KOs. That's him, bro. That's him. KO Leo Santa Cruz in 6. Mario Barrios in 11. Went the distance with Isak Cruz. Cleaned out Rolando Romero in 6 rounds. And finished Hector Garcia off in 9 rounds. That seemed like a suiting, fitting handle for me that Gervonta should have. Sign up for KOs. Sign up for KOs. It's Rolly's handle, but it should be Gervonta Tank Davis. Real talk. It should be his handle. I'm not going to lie to you. Moving on. I want to get to the man himself, Steven Espinoza, amidst challenges to make big fights. Now, I feel like the article just came out that I read was profound. I felt like, when Espinoza continues to put himself behind the mic, it continues to provide the aerosexuals with auditory hallucinations. Let me explain. Espinoza has been on record, has basically giving you content, giving you the reasons as to why certain fights isn't happening. He's been on record, even in the leak audio, hearing Spence say who he doesn't want to fight and who he does want to fight and blah, 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 and all this other stuff that goes on. He's been on record. He's been on record being contradicting. He's been on record as speaking, whatever information that he's privy to. He's been on record as making it known that he's not a part of all the conversations that's going on between Al Heyman and those other parties. He's been on record as saying he may be left out and be absent of certain information. But this recent article that came out is very profound because it once again consummates all the situations that's been boiling over on the YTC where these zombies, these aerosexual zombies are walking around here and you can't even speak English to them no more. But Espinoza is speaking clearly and letting the public know that it wasn't ever anything Crawford could do to make that fight. He keeps proving it over and over again. And I'm gonna take you through this freaking article and explain to you what I mean. Bear with me. I'm not reading the entire article, okay? It says show force to maneuver around outside forces to build a quality fight schedule. Listen to me, because I don't think a lot of people is listening to WCS because, I don't know. It might be some type of educational deficiency. It might be some stubbornness going on there. We're reading. Showtime forced to maneuver around outside forces to build a quality fight schedule. Listen to me, bro. All of you. We're in 2023. Just off the last year, negotiation was so relevant and on the forefront for Crawford Spence, right? But Showtime is up here. Espinoza is up here speaking about maneuvering around outside forces to build. What are the outside forces, man? Let's get into the article. Pay close attention so those aerosexual zombies out there, they can wake up and get off that goddamn shit they on. It says Showtime announced a fascinating schedule for next quarter. That is only going to get better when other bouts are finalized. The first reaction of so many is to default to those bouts that aren't done. They go into Spence Crawford. It's easy to complain that Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford are no closer to finalizing a deal to each other for not only the undisputed weight championship, but also potentially for the pound-for-pound supremacy. And it's difficult to listen to the principals discuss why a Tyson Fury-Alexander Usyk bout has yet to be completed rather than debating who will win. They provided you 2 fights where the possession of belts is right where you need them to be, right where the stars need to be aligned. We have heavyweight and we have welterweight, but more so orientated around the perimeter of the welterweight division. There's been countless upon countless upon countless discussions about who holds the culpability for Crawford Spence. Let's keep going in this article now. Espinoza, the president of Showtime Sports, said that Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis did in getting their fight over the finish line last week could be a model for other fighters in the sport. It's nothing new, but there's no barrier to entry in boxing, and there are so many nameless, voiceless people unknown to the public who whisper in these fighters' ear that make it difficult, if not impossible, to get a fight made. So they're saying outside entities are making it difficult for these fights to be made, right? Okay, all right. Those people have no investment in the business of boxing or concerns about the long-term health of the sport. They just want to hit the jackpot and score big right here, right now. My question to boxing, because a lot of people don't ask boxing questions. You feel me? Just read in between the line. A lot of people don't ask boxing a question. You know why people don't ask boxing a question? Because boxing isn't a single entity. You know what I'm saying? It's just like being in front of a group of people and asking out loud, what's your name? They're going to say, who? Well, who are you talking to exactly? There's 100 of us out here. Be more specific. You know what I'm saying? How can we ask boxing a question? We can't. We can't. We can continue to act like we are affiliated or associated with boxing. We can come on here and act like we've did a little bit more research here and there and speak on certain situations that's associated with boxing. But we can't speak to boxing in general. We can't ask it a single question. We can't have a discussion with boxing. But we can have discussions with certain individuals who are entities internal to boxing, and they all think differently. I would ask boxing, why are you allowing outside entities to influence fighters who are competing internal to the sport? How can outside entities interfere with a sport that's been in existence this long? It doesn't make any sense, y'all. It doesn't make any sense that the outside, us on the outside, we aren't locked in to understand how difficult it is. How people will say boxing is a business, but they won't tell you how many people who influence that, business. How unrestricted it is for anybody to be a part, to eat off the branches, that bear the fruit internal to boxing. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that, bro. Let me make sure I'm good over here. This is Rod. What's good? Dion Washington, salute. What's good? Not Dion. You had to be here from the beginning. The fight is still happening. It's still happening, brother. Shout out to Dion Washington on deck. Espinoza really said so much shit that lets people know that the truth, what the truth was. Them aerosexuals just got selective hearing. Talk to him, Blunts. Talk to him, bro. Let me get back to this article. So I'm basically, to you all, without putting up bulletized points, because I know I have a lot of intelligent human beings and adults in the chat. Boxing, we totally get it. It's never going to be a single entity. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a system. That's all boxing is. Boxing is a system that allows individuals to compete inside that system and make a way of living inside this system. That's all boxing is. Can we consider it a sport? Yeah, it's a sport. Absolutely. But is there any way, anyhow, somebody can come up with a SOP, a standard operating procedure, to combine boxing as a single entity where that SOP resonates across the board? No. It's no way possible. Even the ABA can't give you that. There's no way that you're going to get a SOP across the board where boxing is the same from state to state, region to region, whatever, from fight to fight. Let's keep it moving. There are plenty of people who gave these guys the opportunity to take an exit route to pursue another opportunity, okay? We're talking about the Davis Garcia. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. Espinoza told Yahoo Sports. That's obvious what happened with Spence and Crawford. Okay, now we start dibbling and dabbling into the lima beans. You know what I'm saying? The shit that doesn't taste all that well. It says there were prolonged negotiations, and then one guy decided to go in a different direction. I'm guessing that one guy was where the aerosexual zombies, that's the only thing. It's almost like an amoeba. If you remember what an amoeba was, it's just a parasitic, just a small parasitic, you know what I'm saying? Shit that can go in through any type of entry, your nose, your ear, whatever. And it can cause serious damage if it's prolonged. I think that's what's going on with these aerosexual zombies. They're looking at Terrence Crawford walking away from a situation that was a dead end. A dead end. You cannot continue to drive past that same road. It says dead end. You know what I'm saying? At the bottom, it says dead end. There's a lot of things that you knew before you went on that road. It was dead end. But you just wanted to see, could you get some from it? Like, especially when you go on the house hunt. A lot of people love to live in a cul-de-sac, so they might have wanted to drive up there and see if something positive can come out of this damn dead end. And that's what it ended up being for Terrence Crawford, a dead end. Now Espinoza can say what he want and talk about one fighter got up and walked in a different direction. But as a human being, there's a lot of things in life that Espinoza has walked away in his life. It looked good. You know what I'm saying? It was attractive. From the outset, it was attractive. But once you got really deep inside, it was like, it was ugly. It was nothing productive. It had no value to it. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. There has been a great influx of young talent into boxing. But in order for the sport to grow, those talented young fighters are going to have to be willing to take risk and push themselves. Losses shouldn't matter much if the fighters take challenging fights, but on a show that are willing to engage. Listen to the small words. Losses shouldn't matter if the fighters take challenging fights, but on a show and are willing to engage. Well, that's pretty much saying a network, right? As long as boxing been in existence and active, why is boxing hasn't really built up little sub parameters? Little sub promotions that can really get their money up, build their money up to be able to coexist with these larger flagship promotions. Why hasn't that evolved over time, man? Why haven't this shit evolved for boxing? You have neighboring combat sports promotions that's flourishing. Boom, 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 boom. Putting on pay-per-views all the time. And here we go with boxing. Boxing has been around since the test of time. And they're over here talking about, well, pay-per-view is on his way out. Oh, man, pay-per-view, there's no way we can do anything with pay-per-view because, so many people, they stream it. It's Fire Sticks. It's so many piracy, so much piracy going. You hear that shit all the time. But when you go over to the mixed martial arts side, MMA, they're putting on pay-per-views and not worried about none of this bullshit that boxing as a whole collective is talking about. It's just stupid to be in business this fucking long and still act like we in the development stages, man, and making fights. It's the dumbest shit ever. It don't matter if young talent is coming on here. If your model does not have a plan for these fighters, these young fighters to come in here and fight, and in the meanwhile, grow to the new era to be able to set themselves up for success, that means getting the fights they want, building up their freaking credentials and their boxing ledger to get that championship fight. A boxer doesn't need 20 to 25 fights to become a champion. We know that to be true. You don't have to be a double gold standard Olympian to come in here and fight for a championship. It's no policy that said there must be a minimum of 10 professional fights before you are stepping in the ring to fight for a championship. It should be a minimum of 10 professional fights. There's no policy out there. Lomachenko comes in here and tries to break the record. Second pro fights, he run into Atlanta Salino that said, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to use my name to come over here on your second pro fight and win a championship. It's not happening. Let's move on. The health of the sport would be better when 98% of the money doesn't go to 2% of the fighters. Davis and Garcia can affect positive change in the sport, not only by fighting each other, but also by not pricing themselves out of the market. Now we're getting to the guts of why we were nowhere close to getting Spence and Crawford. We cannot sit up here and act like we are absolutely incompetent, stupid, ignorant, and not figuring this entire process out. The health of the sport would be better when 98% of the money doesn't go to 2% of the fighters. Were y'all saying that about Canelo, Steven? I'm just saying, did we hear him talking about this when Canelo was scooping up all the money? He was getting 98% of the big money, right? And that pretty much drained some of these individuals that he's talking about, some of these entities he's talking about. Then Canelo drained a lot of that shit. He was getting paid healthy. Where was that money coming from? Hedge fund? What was that money coming from? He was able to get paid. Isn't this what WCS told you all? I kept asking, why is there only one cash cow? Espinoza's proving my fucking point. You're giving money to 2%? Nah, it ain't no 2%. That shit damn near struggling with 1%. How is it 2%? How is it 2% is getting this money? How? Who? Where are they? Where are they? The heavyweight division? Man, come on. Stop the cap, bro. Let's keep it moving with the hot grease now. They say David and Garcia can affect positive change in the sport. How? It doesn't even make any fucking sense how just these fighters all of a sudden can affect positive change when you have two other fighters for several years back that has everything you need. They had a promoter at one time. Both of them had a promoter. The fight couldn't be made. Both of these fighters, Spence and Crawford, had a promoter and the fight still couldn't be made. You was over there, right, Espinoza? You was over there when all this shit was taking place. This is just last year, 2022, that this shit started to pick up a little bit of a current to it. You know what I'm saying? We start to see a little bit of white cap waves. We say, oh shit, this is looking good. The stream is picking up. It seems like it's going to go somewhere. Let's go. It says Showtime ambitious schedule, released Tuesday includes David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, Brandon Figueroa against Mark Masayo, Tim Tszyu against Tony Harrison. And then it says there are fights involving Spence, Keith Thurman, Jamel and Jamal Charlo, Jaron Ennis, Isaac Cruz, Dave Morrell, and Danny Garcia that are nearing completion and will be soon added to the schedule. Look at this shit now. If you see one of these zombies out there in the street now, instead of riding past it and got them with a carton of eggs and start throwing and peppering their ass, you know what I'm saying, because they deserve it. Tell them to read this article now. It says there are fights involving all these names from Spence all the way to Isaac Cruz that still haven't been made for 2023. But they still have a problem with talking about 22. The most important language that you're going to hear from this article is coming up next. All right? Listen carefully, people, so they can stop going around here pointing the finger and blaming people with the same rudimentary type information as if it makes sense. You said 100 times, only thing you're going to do is make the recipient that you're talking to mimic what the fuck you saying, because they don't give a damn to hear the same shit over and over again. Crawford. Crawford doesn't run boxing. Crawford, this article is telling you it's other entities that basically influence boxing and influence the business of boxing. Even the flagships, even the higher, the big dogs of that is here, the promotions, the managers, the advisors that's been in the sport for quite some time, they can't even get a grip on boxing. Listen to these words. It said boxing dough, okay? Boxing dough struggles because even in these uncertain times, boxing dough struggles because even in these uncertain times, when fewer fans than ever are watching the sport and have the ability to name prominent fighters, pay attention to these words, because it pretty much zips a body bag to this damn situation again. It says the cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to big bouts continues to rise. The cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to big bouts continues to rise. That means inflation and everything surrounding making these fights are becoming more and more what? Difficult to happen. We're talking about individuals that's been in the game, and they're having issues making the fights that we want to see happen. What is the problem with people just listening and paying attention and saying, you know what? This article, I need to put it in my favorites. I need to bookmark this article because it's saying some shit and it's speaking the truth on why we're not getting the big fights. If it's a big fight and you're talking about an experienced pair of fighters like Spence and Crawford, they should be able to go in there handsomely and get paid well. They should be able to. They should be able to go in there and get paid well. Not going in here and fighting for pennies. Now, the last time I checked, people, I don't know if some of you, because a lot of you youngsters, right? Your youngsters out there that can stay up until the wee AM. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've heard any type of information that's been out here yet, but have you heard any of the problems that was going on with Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis like you did with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence? Have you heard about no guarantee? Have you heard of low percentages where they was up there fighting and trying to say 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 95-5? Have you heard that for that? Because listen, people, listen to me. Have you heard any of that? Have you heard any of this BS that we sat up there and listened to for months upon months upon months about negotiation, obstacles, speed bumps, all of this crash test dummy shit that we experienced doing this the back end of 2022? Have you heard that with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia? Somebody just tell me. Have you heard these individuals on here speaking about that? Because they want to speak about everything else. They only want to speak about the popular names in the algorithm. Have you heard, people? Because I haven't. They say the cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to big bouts continues to rise. Continues to rise. Now listen to this, what they say next. The zone's entry into the market raised the acquisition cost significantly, Espinoza said. It's also been largely disastrous in the U.S. market. The zone, check this out, the zone has raised its prices dramatically and quickly backed away from its marketing slogan, touting the end of a pay-per-view. Now, didn't the zone come on the scene not too long ago? Didn't the zone come in here and do the exact same thing that PBC did? Overpay fighters initially. Then Triller come on the scene for a little bit and was overpaying fighters. So this is nothing abnormal unless you're talking about Top Rank. You don't hear about Top Rank overpaying fighters like that just trying to be better to get fighters to come over there and sign with them. You can't put the damn culpability on the zone's lap. They came in here and they had to make their presence known. The owner of the zone is a freaking billionaire times over. But that doesn't mean that they ain't lost money. That doesn't mean that they don't feel some type of way about losing money. They absolutely feel some type of way. But why in the hell, if boxing has been existing over here in the U.S. market for decades, why in the fuck is an article coming up talking about the zone's entry into the market? Y'all should have already had this shit on locked forever and a day, bro. Forever and a day, you should have had this shit on lock so we can make fights like Spence Crawford and not have an issue with placing the blame on, oh, the shit's increasing. The cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to big bouts continue to rise. Why are you not being able to flow with inflation like everybody else in life? You're a part of boxing. Y'all haven't prepared. Where are the big wigs, as we call them? Where are the shakers and movers? Where are the top dogs who's supposed to be making this shit flourish? And everybody eats off it. Where's all these plans, man? Because obviously on this level with the YTC, you getting these little pigeons that's going around and they're comfortable with pecking on the breed. Somebody drops some crackers, some crumbs, some bird seeds, you know what I'm saying, some bread, the little scraps that they throw from the sandwich when they walk from the bodega. Why do we have pigeon-like mentalities when it comes to this sport? Why can't they understand the bigger picture that boxing has failed to grow over a period of time? Boxing damn near died and was on life support during the pandemic. Why? Why, people? Why aren't we able to figure this out? Why are we going around here thinking that in order for us to be relevant, in order for us to convince ourselves of the stupidity, that we have to continue to push out information that's absolutely false? Create false-ass narratives that will not change the blatant reality on what I'm giving you today. The blatant reality is these promotions cannot fuck with inflation. And for them to sit up here and talk about the zone's entry into the fucking market, who gives a fuck what the zone? Y'all supposed to be in a place where the zone was going to be transparent. Y'all should have been so high that the zone shouldn't have caught up with you all this quickly. It shouldn't have been a sprint. It should have been a fucking marathon, y'all. It should have been a fucking marathon and it was a sprint. Come on, bro. Man, hit the like button. If you like the content, support the channel. Don't be selfish. Support the motherfucking channel if you like the content. Stop tripping, man, like I don't do this when I choose to. Let's keep it moving. 2 of the 9 cards Showtime announced are on pay-per-view, y'all. Garcia versus Davis on April 22nd and David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant on March 25th. But it's becoming increasingly difficult to avoid pay-per-view. Isn't these the same people that was talking about pay-per-view is dead? Isn't it, my people? Isn't it the same people that was saying pay-per-view is dead? Why don't you have the people in place that can forecast business models and give you the projections? You know what I'm saying? From being in the red and being in the black. This what we forecast. Paying attention to these areas right here, from where we at, doing the numbers, this is where we should be in 5 years. Why are these people being paid for these positions? You're not gonna pick anybody off the YTC to do that. You're not. If you want to speak on individuals that speak about boxing in the YTC, that can talk business, that can talk business to a point where they thoroughly know what's going on. I'm talking about with education or without education, but encompassing the experience, right? Encapsulating the experience. You might get a cool 3 people off the YTC that can do that. We're not talking about former boxers and former managers of boxers. No, we're talking about individuals who's been around boxing and held certain positions, work with certain promotions. So therefore, you have to pay attention to why aren't these people in positions of employment. 2 of the 9 Showtime cards on pay-per-view, we're talking about Garcia versus Davis and Benavidez versus Plant. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, been world champions. Gervonta Davis, been world champions. Ryan Garcia is still waiting for that opportunity. But yet we're associating them with pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. 2 of the biggest fights that's going on in 2023 consists of these 4 names right here. We don't need to compare the resumes and shit. We don't really need to compare the resumes, okay? Unless you're talking about Garcia Davis. But due to us being in a whole nother era, an entirely different era, where you keep hearing people talk about belts matter, belts don't matter. Belts matter, belts don't matter. In this particular fight with Garcia and Davis, belts don't matter. Belts don't matter. Seriously, belts do not matter. We're in a whole new era, people. Belts don't matter, or do they matter? Because these guys are coming up here and really at 135, Gervonta has held on to a WBA secondary belt, but still it's considered internal to boxing due to the rules, has basically identified that belt as being a world chip. So being he's considered to be a world champion with that WBA regular belt, don't get mad at Gervonta Davis. So if we want to look at that and scale that up, belts don't fucking matter. Belts do not matter. So what are we looking for to make the big fights? Because we have Crawford Spence and they trying to act like belts do matter. What the fuck is going on? Do belts matter or don't they matter? Or is it just all because the names that's in the fight? Because truth be told, right? I remember somebody putting that Floyd Mayweather picture out there with him in front of all his WBC belts and everything. So at that point in time, belts mattered, right? But when I hear Tyson, I look at that video, right? I look at that video and Tyson is saying, you know, they're trash. The belts don't matter at the end of the day. Well, it mattered when he became the youngest heavyweight champion. It mattered. to a point. It mattered, right? But coming full circle to this era, I'm trying to explain to y'all once again that we're a part of evolution. We left behind tradition and we're going to bigger and better things in evolution. The shit that went on back then has faded. It's a lot of new, updated situations that you're going to have to deal with in boxing that you need to get acclimated to. You need to understand it's going down. Fights like this, where belts don't matter, that's going to be in a larger venue. They're trying to say this is going to be in a larger venue than Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford can get. You're going to have Davis Garcia fight in a larger venue than we could ever imagine with Crawford Spence, who can't be made. They're going into a stadium. Now, people are going to sit up here and say, well, guess what, WCS? Well, if Crawford, because all the fingers point Crawford, right? If Crawford could have signed the contract, we would have been in Texas. If he just would have gave in and fought in Texas, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. The fight can't be made. And it's not Crawford's fault. It's the fact that the fight couldn't be made because of money. Money. Let me zip that up again. It says over the last few years, y'all, there's been a massive increase in the cost of boxing. Do you think that, did he say the last few months? Or he said the last few years? Did he say the last few months? Or did he say the last few years? Did he say the last few years or the last few months? Did he say the last few years or the last few months? If he didn't say the last few months, then God damn it, let's pay attention to understand that he's telling you once again, there's been a massive increase in the cost of boxing over the last few years. He didn't say the last few months. He said the last few years. How difficult do y'all goofballs want to hear the truth? You still running with the narrative that one man ruined the fight, when knowing damn well if he would have waited, he just would have been the fool. They say the first time, shame on me. Shame on you. But the second time, shame on me. Why would he put himself in two predicaments? Why would Crawford say, okay, I'm going to trust you? He's been in boxing too long to know boxing is all about dysfunctionality. So if he would have sat on his fucking hands and looked like a clown, he still would have been looking like a clown in 2023. Okay, I signed the contract. Boom, there's a revision. Before we sign the final revision. Okay, Crawford, before we do anything, I know you agreed to everything. But before we do that, I know you agreed to everything, Crawford. Just sign the contract. We're going to get to that. I need one more thing. Just one more, Crawford. Just one thing, bud. You agreed to everything. Just be patient, my brother. Okay? I'm looking out for you. We have one more revision, Crawford. We want the fight to be in 2023. You agreed to everything else, Crawford. Just please sign this for next year, because we don't have the money. We don't have the money. And we're not even sure we're going to have the money to open up 2023 for a fight like this. Don't y'all dare sit up here and put Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia in comparison to Crawford Spence. That's lunacy. That is absurd. They didn't have the fucking money to make the fight last year. And Crawford agreeing to everything would have signed that motherfucking dotted line to this year. He would have been in limbo. And then there would have been legality. We would have had to hear the news of this being taken to court or whatever the case may be, because of the same thing that Crawford said to Bob Arum on his way out the door. You couldn't get me to fight while I was with you. You can't get me to fight while I'm not signed to you. The same thing in this case. You said you was going to get me in a fight. Just like Canelo left the zone. He left the zone because they had him lined up for some bullshit ass fights on the roster. He said, nope, you're not going to have me fight no MMA guys and all this other bullshit. No exhibition, no carnival circus type shit. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So therefore, if Crawford would have still been sitting on his hands, which he would have in 2023, because of his opponent, the one that's signed to Al Heyman and the Grand Poobah, he still would have be sitting on his hands in 2023 without a fight. Then, apart from what the contract says, like, I don't know. That's not my job. But I'm just asking, what would have been the options Crawford would have had? So let's say we're in 2023 and we're sitting right here, right now. No Crawford David Avanesian. We have the pound for pound. And we will have these damn clowns, these aerosexual zombies walking around here blaming Crawford for something. If he wouldn't take all that time from the time they sent him the paperwork in August of 2022 until the time in October, we would have already had this. He signed and agreed to everything, and you changed the year. We're in 2023 and still no fight. How can you blame Crawford for any of this if they're saying in this article, over the last few years, there's been a massive, do I need to pull up the goddamn definition to massive? Let me do it anyway. Because they just don't get it. I swear to God. Massive. All right. Let's go back to preschool. Massive. Massive, large and heavy or solid, exceptionally large. Massive, man. Massive, consisting of or forming a large mass, bulky, heavy, massive. You know what I'm saying? Large in scale, substantial. You feel me? Do I have to overextend myself to prove that shit? They said over the last few years, there's been a massive increase in the cost of boxing. So how in the fuck is Crawford, who came over there without a promoter, the blame for this fight not happening? Are you stupid or are you dumb? They keep on putting information out here. This not something that's being hid inside of a book. This shit is out here for your viewing pleasure on Yahoo. All they talk about is boxing, struggling. And y'all up here just acting dumb, and dumber. It says boxing, though, struggles, because even in these uncertain times, when fewer, do I need to tell y'all what fewer fans mean? Do I need to address fewer? Fewer fans than ever are watching the sport and have the ability to name prominent fighters. The cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to big bouts continues to rise. So if prices are rising, then you have to understand what is going on behind the closed doors at the tables. Right? Table talks are different when the price is rising, when the cost is changing. Who is going to be able to maintain and continue to be competitive? Who? Where's the money coming from? What the investors are talking about. Where is it coming from? You have the information right here in front of you. We cannot continue to be, pretend like we're zombies, but yet run a household outside of YouTube. You cannot continue to get on YouTube and act like you're performing in a circus each and every time that you want to ignore the obvious, ignore the truth. The truth is right here, bro. They're struggling big time. And there's no way for them to tighten this up because boxing is an unregulated sport. So you're trying to make sure we should have regulated rules. You can't do that. The sport is unregulated. So you'll continue to have individuals pretty much working on their own accord, making their own moves that affect other promotions, other managers, advisors, who's making their own moves. And ultimately, the contractor, The independent contractors, which are the fighters, will be affected. And if you think for 1 second that these promoters and these advisors are working for the fighters, stop it. Yeah, I like what Cool Boy Steph said. Yeah, just go there and get the fight. Come on. We all know that that does not resonate across the board. People and fighters are going to their promoters and saying, I want that fight. I want that fight. I want that fight. That's just not true. These fighters are not going up there saying, I want that fight for pennies. What if I say I want that fight no less than 6 or 7 million? Sure. Sounds good to us. Hey, Bob, what about you? You think that? Okay, John, you're good? You're on deck? All right. What about you, Sarah? It's okay? Oh, it's a go then. Thumbs up. Hey, good job. That's what I'm talking about. Taking charge of your career. That's what I'm talking about. Salute to you. Thanks. That's not the way business works in this system of boxing. Okay? It goes on to say, part of the reason there are so many pay-per-views is a dynamic that is not really unique to boxing, Espinoza said. Listen again as I freaking parenthesize this. Part of the reason there are so many pay-per-views is a dynamic that is not really unique to boxing. You've seen it in the media industry, in scripted entertainment, as well over the last few years. There's been a massive increase in the cost of boxing. I'm talking about from our perspective and what it costs to get fights and to get the high level fights. Once again, underscore perspective and what it costs to get fights and to get the high level fights. Is Spence Crawford a high level fight? Is Spence Crawford a high level fight? They're both on the pound for pound list. Are they considered high level fighters? Is this considered a high level fight? Yes, it is. It goes on to say that's because we've had a lot of new entrants into the sport. What do they mean by entrance, y'all? This is what I was talking about with boxing, being so open-ended. Being so open-ended. There's no one turnstile to get into boxing, but it is a turnstile to get into the UFC. It is a turnstile to get into Bellator. Oh, absolutely. You have to see people, certain designated people, to get into that promotion. There are turnstiles in these promotions, right? That allows these promotions to have their own belt system, to operate under that belt system, to have their own structure and to be sanctioned, regulated, all that shit. They are motherfucking regulated. Boxing continue to go around here and act like they can continue to be who they are, the system. And everybody understands that when you hear the word system, is attachment that goes along with that. Fucking over the system. They're gonna continue to fuck over the system, y'all. What are these entrants they was talking about in this article? It says some of those entrants came into the sport spending money like drunken sailors and throwing money at some fights that honestly didn't deserve it. Big money. All right. So if they're talking about, oh, let's extend our arms and our index finger and point that away, why you didn't do anything to stop those entrants from being relevant? It was up to you to stop the shit from happening. That means in the process of seeing that boxing wasn't regulated, knowing that you was making money off the sport, y'all shouldn't have been greedy and start working together to say, you know what? Should we, looking into the future, should we thinking about doing something else to kind of close this open, you know what I'm saying, this open gate of opportunity when it comes to boxing, to make it more structural dependent? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't we build more policy? Shouldn't we think about regulation? Shouldn't we start kind of cleaning up the sport? No, they didn't think of that because they can't. Boxing is so adult. It is so much to a point where it's been existing for so long. It's going to take the act of God for this sport to clean clean itself up. It's going to take an act of God, y'all. It's going to take an act of motherfucking God. God, his angels, God's gods, and his gods, and those gods to come up here and try to freaking eliminate these demigods. That's what's going to happen. It's too many people eating off boxing that affects certain fights from happening. You don't hear that shit in freaking mixed martial arts, man. You don't hear all this hokey pokey. I can't tell you about the upcoming fight. Oh, it might be so-and-so over here. It might be so-and-so over there. So I hear one article, I read one article talking about it's going to be a fighter that's totally off the map over here in boxing. And then on the next article, you hear he might be fighting an opponent that's in his weight class and shit. I mean, it's all over the fucking place, y'all. Let me get to the chat right quick. It is all over the fucking place, y'all. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Salute to you, Bruce. OG on deck. Salute to you. What's good with it? Arrow should not be worried about losing. It'll be okay. He shouldn't, right? Right. Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, a.k.a. Showtime Shaw in the building. It's about time to stop paying big money for watered down main event matchups. Yes, sir. No doubt about it. But they're putting it out there, Showtime, that the inflation, the cost, they cannot accommodate the shit. They cannot accommodate the cost. They cannot keep up. It's not like it's another promotion, y'all. It's not like it's just one promotion that's getting all the big fights. That's not true. Because if you look at the suits of each promotion, they dress differently. They shit is dressed up totally different. They have certain fighters in this weight class, and they don't have certain fighters in this weight class. You know what I'm saying? It's different across the fucking board. They pay-per-view model is different over here. The belt system is attached more over this promotion than it is to that promotion. It's too much ebbs and flows in the wrong shit. Too many people just eating off boxing and is not contributing to the growth of the system. The system being boxing, y'all. It's not contributing to the system of boxing. The sport as a whole is suffering, man. That shit is on damn near life support over this bitch. And we have dummies. You have to consider yourself an idiot to continue to talk about situations that those boxers have no control of. Timothy came out here and told you exactly what's being spoken on in this article. And we still have grown-ass adults that's begging as if they need a psychoanalysis. They act like, damn, can you just donate so I can pay for a psychoanalysis? Because I'm looking in the mirror and I don't see anything wrong. But you get your dumb ass over here on the YTC and you start talking the same shit that's right here in front of your face. Timothy said they didn't have the money. They didn't have the money. They didn't have money. See, Espinoza is saying the same fucking thing. And y'all continue to sit up here. Well, Crawford ducked. Crawford ducked. The dilly duck. You can't come over here saying the same shit. It's just unbelievable that you're not understanding the truth. The money is funny. And it's not just in one entity or a promotion. The promotions haven't did enough to build up a structure that can withstand this shit. They should have built an arc. They should have built an arc. They should have built something that can withstand what they're going through right now. They shouldn't be up here pointing the finger at the zone. You shouldn't be able to even talk about the zone. The zone haven't even been in existence or relevancy in the sport of boxing. They came in here with an app that was very, very cheap. They started to grow and people started they started to pick up, and now the app has went up extensively. And they are the topic in this article. The zone's entry into the market raised the acquisition cost significantly. Are we really talking about the zone, y'all? U.S. promoters should have had this motherfucker locked down, locked down, locked down. But they didn't do it. Everybody wanted to goddamn create these fights. Who's making money off this, and this? Man, that's a doggy fucking world, bro. Haynes Legacy, what's good, man? Salute to you. On deck. Bro, that's America. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Think about it. It's boxing is a poor man's sport. It is, man. It's a tough sport, too. A tough one. Jones said, for real, it seems like boxing business is imploding. It's been imploding. It damn near survived the pandemic. It damn near can't. Look, it barely. I said damn near survived. It damn near died. Boxing damn near died during the pandemic. A lot of combat sports were struggling, but I'm talking about boxing, y'all. How long can you date back to all these fights that we talk about? That's in the boxing annals, right? All these names that's in the boxing annals during the epoch. How can you be in existence and actively thriving for this long and then being here in 2023 and you're struggling to put on big fights? You're struggling. You wanted to be a part of something. You existed, but no one wanted to take the lead and trying to change the sport to prevent what we have going on right now. Nobody. Everybody was all about their own pockets. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And those that was eating off the sport, you think they're losing their money? You think these guys are they're using their money? They're getting people money to use. They're in bad with other situations and paying these individuals. So if you continue to not repay or you're not able to make those individuals money, it gets harder and harder to get investors and those damn networks that really want to stay around for a long period of time if they're not making money. This man up here cooking, smash the like button. Great, constant. Yes, some haters if you don't smash the like button. Appreciate your legacy for pulling up, no doubt about it. And you know what I'm saying? Toby Bartlett in the building. What's good, Toby? Bobby on deck. He said only a fool would believe that Terrence Crawford doesn't want the Spence and Charlo fight. There's plenty of fools out here. But see, I'm trying to get the content. I'm trying to explain to them in a way that this is not something I wrote. This is information that's always been accessible to those who are willing to read it. Read it more than once, and you should have a better understanding that you're out here making an absolute fool of yourself. They're up here speaking about the zone when it's been promotions that's been in here since the Don King era, yo. And you're actually speaking about the zone? They're the new kid on the block. We even knew the actual group new kids on the blocks. They end up phasing out. But they're the new kid on the block, man, at one time. And they was talking about, they was mad at Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn said he was going to come over here and take over the boxing and take over the U.S. And they was all mad about that shit. But how long did that temperament last? Because a person like Eddie Hearns with a owner that has that amount of money, that type of cash flow, right? Boxing isn't set up to build up defense mechanisms to keep somebody like the zone out. Everybody can fucking eat when it comes to the system of boxing. You just got to have the money. So what does zone have? Money. Look at them now. Look at them now, dog. They over there getting that liquid money. I guess Eddie Hearns wasn't so stupid after all, because I sure enough used to criticize him early on. I criticized him as a person, not what he was doing. I criticized him as a person. And look how Eddie Hearns who they said the zone and whoever it was, they say they lost like 2 billion. So is that gonna stop them from putting on the next fight? We don't know the exact numbers, but supposedly that's what it was. Okay. This is Rob. Salute SB90. Salute. I canceled my DAZN subscription yesterday. Not worth the money. Stealing it from now on. Hey, at least SB90 is being honest. And you know, when you talk about theft in this particular setting, and you know what he's talking about specifically boxing and so forth, I don't really consider it stealing. I don't anymore. I don't anymore consider this to be stealing. I don't consider it to be thievery at all. Because if someone has a fire stick that allows you to look at these fights for free, then guess what? Don't forget about the time when I was growing up when they had scramblers. This is before fire sticks. They had scramblers. Scramblers was actually stealing. So leaving tradition behind to evolution, now we have fire sticks that you can pay for and go through your streaming service where it allows you to access this. So fire sticks are part of the evolution. They're part of the new age technology. So it's not really thievery. It's a choice that you're making whether to pay the $79.99 or to look at it on the fire stick. To support the fighter, $79.99, honestly, or to look at the fire stick. That's all I'm saying, big dog. So I gotta say, SB90, you good, man. Don't feel no type of guilt. I mean, it's people in boxing that takes from boxing. Don't put yourself under that. It's people in boxing that takes from boxing. So how can it be stealing just because you saying, you know what, I ain't gonna pay that $79.99, man. I ain't gonna pay that $79. No. If you feel that you're gonna utilize options, alternatives to watch a fight, and it's not gonna cost you financially to do that, then don't feel bad about it, because goddamn it, boxing has been around long enough to have measures set up to work together. They refuse to work with each other. They refuse to work with each other. They refuse to be a unit. They refuse to be an org. They refuse to. The only way boxing was going to grow is if they consolidate. They don't even have a union. They don't even have a union. They have no retirement plan, y'all. Check this out. Check this out. Man, y'all gotta hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have to hit the like button. I only have 23 likes in here, man. That's just selfish, bro. Real talk. Y'all already know me by now, man. You know, like, come on. I know it's not that many people ear hustling in here, and it's on 23 likes. Real talk. So let's keep on jumping, man. Let's keep on jumping rope with this article right here, right? Because that's the good part about boxing. Cutting weight. Let's cut some weight. They say too often, though, I'm reading this again to emphasize the importance of it. Too often, though, boxing falls short. So if boxing falls short and it's been falling short, why do you all continue to blame and act like you preschool students and blaming Crawford for not being able to make the fight? If they're up here saying boxing falls short, it's no one person that is causing boxing to fall short. Here's hoping that Showtime's Good Day on Tuesday leads to similar announcement by all the sport's other major players. Then we can honestly say that better days are ahead. They are keeping hope alive in this sport, y'all. They're talking about this sport like it's been that way for a while, man. Like dealing with a drug addict. Boxing has been struggling for quite some time. And there's no one program that can save it. People don't want to regulate the sport because there's too many ways that other people that they're complaining about, that Espinoza said, outside entities that are making money off the sport. You know damn well it's the fact there's other entities that's out here making money off the sport, the systematic sport. These, you cannot be any way, shape, or form associated or holding position internal to the system of boxing and still make money. That is what Espinoza is talking about, early in this article, bro. That's why he's talking about the entrance of the sports. They're spending money like drunken sailors. How is that possible if you've been in existence as long as you have? You didn't set up this. You didn't prepare yourself. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. You didn't prepare yourself for the future when it comes to this sport? No, because everybody can eat off of it. So don't fucking complain about entrance. Don't fucking complain about the zone. Don't complain, because none of you that was making money, the rich, who was getting richer, y'all didn't care. Now it's so fucked up, you can't really make those moves like you did back in the day. You can't really do it. It's becoming impossible to do this shit. The cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to the big bouts continues to rise. And we all know what happens when things begin to rise and you don't have individuals to be able to compensate. When you cannot make that money, you're incapable of sustaining the inflation. Then you have to come out with these articles. And you know the crazy part about it, listeners? You know the crazy part about this is that it's almost seemed like they're pleading with the public to see how much they're struggling as a systematic sport. They're struggling right now. They're sitting up here. They are forced to come clean about fights that we want to see, but we can't see. They're struggling. They're pleading for a listening ear, for us to listen to what they're saying. All I'm doing is I'm sending the message back out to anyone who's out here in the YTC that's listening, that's still running with the motherfucking narrative, barefooted down a gravel road, right? With broken glass in that bitch, kicking rocks and wondering why the shit hurts so bad. That's exactly what you're doing when it comes to media. If you want to consider yourself a disseminator of media and you're still running with one fight just because it's populating well in the algorithm, is trending, then continue to run down that gravel road with all that broken glass, kicking rocks barefooted. You love the pain? Continue to love the pain, because that's what dummies do. They go back and do dumb shit, bro. Crawford exhausted all his measures. It didn't have shit to do with paperwork. It didn't have nothing to do with him coming over there with no promoter. That shit was doomed from the start. He just thought, okay, let me give it a chance. If I don't give it a chance, they're gonna fucking blame me. Let me give it a fucking chance. Let me go over here and try to make this shit happen. Let me go in here in good faith with an understanding that I'm going to take the very little money than I initially wanted to. So therefore, that's when all this other percentages and shit came in. And then when asked by Brian Custer, Errol Spence said he was just joking. I was just joking. No, you wasn't. You was dead ass fucking serious. You said it on the video with your girl, and you said it when you was leaving the arena. You was dead fucking serious that you was going to get that man whatever you wanted him to get. So being that you didn't think he was going to take that, when he did, you all came up with a whole another damn scheme to say, damn, he took that shit? Damn, we can't say he ducking? Oh, fuck. Let's change that shit to 2023 then. Fuck it. When you did that, what man, what intelligent boxer who's looking out for his best interest in the sport is going to stay seated? None of them. They're going to rise up, about face, and they're going to go to where they're able to get paid. Still operating in an environment as an independent contractor. They're not changing up their skill set. They're still operating under the same freaking skill set that they've been working in for quite some time. They're still employed. They're just going to a different promotion to get it in, to get that paycheck. That's all. They just signing a new contract. They're independent contractors. So when we talk about independent contractors, right, we can't just say that just for everybody else, but it doesn't include Crawford. For him to go over there to BLK Prime, especially after what we just witnessed in the last several weeks, to him to go over there and get that money in his hometown and for it to be a success and the fighters got paid, God's on his side, bro. God's on his side. God was on that man's side to go over there and scoop that up. Now people saying that BLK Prime is done and over. Listen, BLK Prime chose to try to be a hitter in this sport. They came over here with the notions of all the information that I'm reading for you on this Yahoo article. They was fully aware of this shit. And they choose to take a gamble. All I want to do is take a gamble. God damn it, let's gamble on this shit. Just like Triller. Triller, known for the music industry. They started dibble and dabble in boxing. Why? Because WCS was telling you that the systematic sport of boxing allowed people just to dip in and eat off the sport. If you got all the, if you have everything, if you have dotted your I's and crossed your T's, and you have everything you need to be a competitor, it don't matter if it's in the sprints or you hanging around for the marathon. Either way it goes, it's the same method that was being used decades ago. You know what that method was? Making money. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. That's what it's about. Get in, get out. Don't say I'm bullshitting you. It's the fact. Get in, get out. What do they tell boxers? Get in, get out. But boxers can't get in and get out. Because a lot of these boxers been through amateurs and spent thousands of dollars. They turn professional and they're looking to recoup those thousands of dollars that they spent. Traveling. All the sacrifices. So they get over here and certain percentage of fighters, they make it. Enough for them to say, you know what? It's been nice, but I'm going to call it quits. I know a lot of people thinking I'm still young enough to compete, but at 33, I'm up out of here. I did enough. I've earned. I made proper investments. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm out this sport. And also, you know, those investments is gonna make me residual income to support myself, my family, and you know, and continue to grow. See, not every fighter across the board can say that. It's incredible. It's incredible, bro. Karate Body, what's good? That's what's good. Facts, we gotta see what we want or we ain't paying. Man, you know, when people come over here talking about they ain't paying for boxing and all that, what am I to say? What am I to say? You think I'm gonna be an advocate in a sport that's not gonna support me? It should be boxing. Look, it should be entities in boxing that should be way stronger than what they are. They should be extremely on a whole nother level of dominance. We can't compare that to the physical aspect of boxers, because if you're talking about boxers getting an age, let's say 45, 50 years old, hey, so-and-so started boxing when they was a teenager. It's no way you can sustain that. But we're talking about organizations that has multiple players in their organization that participate in that organization thriving. They're all minds in that organization. So we're not talking about a single person. We're talking about organization. Why is boxing struggling? There's no one doorway. There's no one, there's no one authority. There's not one authority, bro. There's no one group who can approve and disapprove certain situations that's going on with boxing. There's no single commission. There's no president. these promotions that are currently in boxing, however many that may be, they're going to have to go through the government. They're going to have to appoint certain individuals. And I don't think I ever see that while I'm here, while I'm living. Is it impossible for it to ever happen? Well, as I'm speaking to you, it seems that way to me. Seriously, it seems that this is totally impossible. But in the future, if someone has enough money to buy out these promoters, if the scale of it continues to change where the inflation is just killing these promoters and they can't survive, and they're just putting on goofy fights, and it's no longer possible for them to be on pay-per-view because of all this technology, then you might see boxing change. Only because boxing grew up and it died. It didn't die all at one time. It died from one promotion to the next, to the next, to the next. So even the ones that was up here surviving on the regional level, they're not important because they was never hosting the big fights to begin with. So you had all these entities that we used to seeing dying off. So it becomes a lot better for somebody to swoop in and say, "Hey, let's take this to the government." I think it's a bigger. I mean, it's best time right now to try to change up the way boxing's been ran. Let's all get together and regulate the sport. Them motherfuckers be up there on life support. Okay, no problem. It's time to regulate the sport. It's time to regulate the sport. Oh my God, please. I can't believe I spent so much time torturing myself in this. They'd be all about regulating the sport, y'all. All in favor of a single commission. Okay, seems like everyone approved. And the runoff for the president has been approved, and the numbers are in. This particular individual will now be the president, be sworn in, and understand he or she is to carry out their duties faithfully, honestly, and within the guidelines of esprit de corps, God, court, and country. You know, that's the one thing about the president. People, when it comes to boxing, they always say, well, the president have to be someone that's not willing to be bought. Why they ain't saying that about the UFC and Bellator and PFL, Eagle FC? Why they not saying that? They got president. Dana White's the president. Why they not saying that about mixed martial arts? Oh, man, you got to get somebody that's not willing to be bought. But they're running a promotion. They are running a structure that people only talk about and wish that boxing was. So if titles don't fucking matter, this would be the perfect time. If titles don't matter, then guess what? Get your own belt system and do it and take it from there. It'll allow fighters to get paid more often because it'll take them much more to make it to that title contention. You know what I'm saying? Without all these other collateral titles being the secondary titles, super titles, and all this shit. All you have to do is get together. You know what I'm saying? Fighters are trying to eat. Fighters are trying to eat. And if you break this down into a individual structure, I think fighters more often would be in rotation. You would get back to fighters fighting 3 times a year and making good money and being able to basically insert themselves into the rankings the right way. You won't have an inactive fighter just being in the ranking system. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the ranking systems anyway, but you know what I'm saying. Bill's Boot Camp was good. True Meters today, USA Boxing. Coach Malachi on deck says, what's good, WCS? What's good with it, Coach? He said the reason Duran, Leonard, Hagler, and Hearns fought each other is because they were smart enough to sign one-fight deals with promoters and not get tied in. Are majority of these fighters signing multi-fight deals there, Bruce? Or when they talk about the promoter should be working for the contractor, which is the fighter, It's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? The fighter's working for the manager and the contractor, and they're making their own deals. And they're telling these fighters the only way you're going to get to this space right here, this, and this with me, because I can get you the fights now. I can get you the fights, but you're going to have to sign a 3-fight deal. I'm going to have to lock you in for a 3-fight deal, period. I'm going to have to lock you in for a 5-fight deal. You good? You're not? Okay, see you. I don't want to do business with you then. But I hear you, Bruce. I hear you, bro. Solid point. I hear you. Jones say, I know I judged Bud at first for the fight not happening. I was wrong. Hearing more info on how the business of boxing is, fights need to get bags when they can. Square bids. Look, it's a lot of people that had their opinion and still have their opinion about the fight. I'm not going to be the lone ranger going around here feeling some type of way about everybody who says that Bud ducked this and that. You have to educate yourself at the end of the day. If you're not educating yourself, but yet you let your temperament dictate every twist and turn of the content that you're reading out here and allow you to stress yourself the fuck out, then who's the dummy? If I'm educating myself and I'm listening to the naysayers and I'm listening to the supporters and the fanatics, right? I'm looking at both sides. Then I can measure the biasness. I can measure how much I'm going to just keep over here in a recycle bin after I read it. Okay, let me put that shit in there. I don't want to. I'm just going to deal with this information right here. If you continue to read what's in the recycle bin, the way you're going to think is going to be trash, bro. It's going to be trash because you're basically getting this information from individuals that's not trying to look at the other side. They don't want to listen to WCS with an open mind. They don't want to listen to all these other channels, the Coach Malachi, the Boxing Voice, you know what I'm saying, Shaw News, Exo Factory, Mac Mob. There's plenty of channels out here that you can listen to, that you can sub to. That's not running off this damn rampage of biasness, man. But also you have a huge group of organizations, right? You have a huge group of organizations that consider themselves to be an organization of channels on here that continue to talk and recycle trash. The same shit people put plastic bottles in a trash bag every day and they take them to the recycle bin and they dump the motherfuckers. This is the same thing that you hear over here in the YTC from a lot of groups who's talking the same shit. But see, they can listen to my live today and they can know that I'm getting this from Yahoo. I put the link in the chat, right? This is the Yahoo article, amongst other articles that's been out, but it's a common name. Stephen Espinoza that's on here telling you some truth. And in that truth, it's telling you why the Crawford-Spence fight didn't happen. Who gives a fuck if Crawford went the other way? He went the other way because he was deterred that they wasn't going to make the fight. He's a contractor, right? So if he wants to fight in 2022 and he agreed to everything, which they said he did, they say all he had to do is sign a contract. So what if he did sign the contract and get over here to this year and he's still no fight? No fight. They won't be talking about Errol Spence because he's out there doing what the fuck he want to do and nobody cares. But for Crawford, they would have been up here trying to create some type of narrative when the fight and contract has been signed. It's been signed. We just waiting on them to pick a date in 2023. They would have still came up and started to talk about what Crawford has going on. They would have still been making up these lame ass scenarios tomorrow. Oh, when Crawford step in there with Spence, he gonna be in the next Creed. He gonna be the one getting knocked the fuck out. I just can't wait to do a meme on that. They would have spent months upon months, dog, not giving this dude credit for signing the fucking contract. He's locked in. He's waiting for the fight date to happen in 23. No payday in 22. Oh man. Crawford, he definitely getting knocked out because he's been out the ring damn near a year and a half before he stepped in there with Errol Spence. That was a smart move on Al Heyman. That was a smart move. You know what I'm saying? To take Crawford, you know what I'm saying, for his fight in 2021 to go all the way through 2022 with no check, no fight, and then for him to get older and still don't have a fight in 2023, yeah, that's good. It ain't no way. Crawford's not going to be the same fighter coming in there. He's not. Spencer's going to have an easy time with Crawford because he's going to be older. He's going to be more with ring rust, and he's going to be out the gym over a year and a half. That's what I'm talking about. It don't get any better than that. That's the shit that I'm talking about with these niggas that will go up here and talk that bullshit, bro. If Crawford would have locked himself into a contract and we absolutely would have had the same activity in 22 and 23, absolutely nothing. Nothing. These fighters, Crawford would have been showing up at fights. They say, hey, Crawford, for our understanding, the contract has been signed and everything, but is there any information you can give us on a date, an upcoming date? No, not really. I mean, I signed the contract like everybody wanted. It's not up to me anymore. You know what I'm saying? I signed the contract. I'm just waiting for a fight date. You know, maybe you need to check over there with PBC, Al Heyman, or Errol Spence about a fight date. So you telling me that ever since they was making a big fucking deal in 22, you signed the contract, you took less money, and now you're over here sitting on your hands. You know, from what we're hearing, you could have took a fight at BOK Prime for at least 8 figures, Crawford. That's what we heard, right? Yeah, that's true. And you know, I talk with my people about that all the time. I think that was a mistake on our part not to take that fight, to at least get one, you know, active fight in this year. Because now I'm looking at being out of the ring year and a half, not getting paid, and now I'm locked in with a contract, and I have no idea when the forecast of the fight's going to be. I have no itinerary, no manifesto. I absolutely have zero. I'm waiting. Well, hey, Crawford, you always been a stand-up guy, and we wish you nothing but the best. Sitting on your hands and goddamn getting old, okay? Until next time. Hey, people, back to you, Earl. That would have been the dumbest shit ever, bro. But yet they still come over here and talk the same shit all the time. I mean, you know, it doesn't frustrate me just because you hear me, you know, being passionate about what I'm talking about. It doesn't affect me like that. I laugh. I say kudos to Crawford for taking the Avanesian fight. They can sit up here and come up with all these aliases as to his opponent's name. But I can guarantee you this. It didn't stop him from getting paid. It didn't stop him from knocking that motherfucker out. All that shit you talk about, it did not hold up Omaha, Nebraska, putting on a main event card on BOK Prime for the first time. All the hate, you still could not stop the situation from going down. That's all I'm trying to tell you. And now you want to bitch, moan, and complain because your vagina's a little bit irritated with a yeast infection? And you mad about him fighting Alexis Rocha now? Is that what we doing? We mad? You know, the yeast infection just broke out. You having an inflammation. You having you know, an outbreak again. The man can't fight is mandatory. Come on, man. Y'all just straight up haters, bro. Because your boy Spence have not gave us anything that you all would want. You know what I'm saying? Read this article that I put the URL in the chat. It's a very thorough article. I found some viable information in there that made a lot of sense to me. Hopefully, me going over this, it made a lot of sense to you that the cost for a network like Showtime to obtain the rights to big bouts continues to rise. You know what I'm saying? And also remember, over the last few years, there's been a massive increase in the cost of boxing. If you don't want to damn post that to your title and understand what that means over the last few years, then I don't know what to tell you. It's not up to me. It's not up to me, bro. Hey, that's facts. Know about mixed martial arts, we always talk about the money they make. But if the money was spread out in boxing, it would be the same way. Correct. That's why Haynes, early in the article that I read, they spoke about that, right? He spoke about the health of the sport would be better when 98% of the money doesn't go to 2% of the fighters. Now, Haynes, someone needs to get a flag and run around this bitch and then pass that word. Because when Canelo is the 2%, the 1%, a part of the 2%, who's allowing this shit to happen? Please, somebody explain. If they're going to talk about the health of the sport would be better when 98% of the money doesn't go to 2% of the fighters, is somebody explain to me why it's still going on? Why is Canelo walking around here having people put together a hit list of sacrificial lamb and say Jamal Charlo, Errol Spence Jr., David Benavidez for 100 mil, Canelo, 100 mil over. Do you accept over? If you all, your organization there, Espinoza, you are part of that. You are attached to them, brother. That's why he has the look on his face he does in the thumbnail. He is a part of the problem. Y'all was up here trying to give all that money to Canelo Alvarez to face and sacrifice fighters that are signed under the banner, the PBC banner, man. Come on. I can't make this shit up, bro. At least they fight on a regular basis and they can make a decent living. No doubt. No doubt. Coach say you're making much sense right now. Appreciate it, Coach. Appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be sure to check Coach out in about 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to check Coach out in about 3 hours, man. True Media Today, USA Boxing may I ask you a question? I mean, are you saying you want to ask him a question? The problem is this. You're trying to educate the ignorant masses in the YTBC who delight in being ignorant. Their low IQ won't allow them to utilize critical thinking skills. I appreciate that. Well said. Solid summation. I totally get it. And that's unfortunate that, you know what, you have to give them a critique on an action that they're totally in control of, Coach. You're giving them a critique on something that they choose to be. They're not choosing to be critical thinkers. They choose to be critical of thinking. They want to be critical of thinking. They have the whole process. I consider them to be healthy adults. They have the options out there to be critical thinkers. But they want to be critical of everything that they have the option of reading and processing, digesting new knowledge and educating themselves. Read it, remediate it, educate yourselves for the good and bad, and move forward with a better sound mind of what this boxing game is about. That's all it takes. But nope, it's not that easy, bro. They want to be critical of thinking. Nah, I don't want to do that. Fuck him, man. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that nigga. Fuck him. But you have to pay attention to something. I have to pay attention to something. If I don't support you heavy because of who you are and how you act, maybe maybe for me, I'm just curious to know if you actually can speak about boxing, and there's some content that I would like to catalog. It has nothing to do on a personal level how you act as a person. If I hear something that benefits me, that educates me, I'm going to catalog that shit. I'm benefiting off listening to content. I don't have to communicate with you in private. I'm just saying, let me pay attention to what they're saying. Okay, if they ain't talking about shit, I keep it moving to the next. It's called replay, fellas. Shanu said, Abraham Nova just got added to that April 1st card in Oklahoma at the Hard Rock. Okay. So Abraham Nova doing a quick turnaround. You know what I'm saying? For getting that stoppage. Moving up a weight class. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Moving up a weight class. Getting that win. Shout out to Nova, man. Shout out to Abraham Nova. And thanks for that gem there, Showtime. No doubt, coach. No doubt, man. Speaking of critical thinkers, you know, if you pay attention to, you know, Coach's channel, you will definitely understand that that's somebody who isn't afraid of slicing the book open every now and then or two and reading from page to page. You know what I'm saying? You can always tell people who can dive a little bit deeper than the surface. A lot of motherfuckers just want to stay on the surface and look at the reflection in that motherfucker. And some people just want to explore what's beneath the surface. The only way you're going to do it if you go take a visit. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're going to do it. Instead of just standing up there, wow. No, I don't need to go any deeper than where I'm at right now, man. I'm good right here. No, you need to go deeper, man. Life challenges you all the time to, you know, be a critical thinker and go a little bit deeper to find shit out. That's it. Juice Lee on deck. What's good? What's good with it, Juice? People are just lazy. That's why they rely on other sources to think for them. Now let's kind of identify the sources. If the other sources are blind and dumb and stupid like they are, then that's a problem. That's a problem, because now you have, like they say, the blind leading the blind. But you have individuals that listen only to certain people who satisfy. They have picked up an acquired taste of auditory information, right? That's their acquired taste. That's what they choose to go back to every single time. And when you see them in the live chat, they sit up here and they just love to be around the people in the live chat. Even though the person on there is spewing out rhetoric and bias ass ex parte information, that's where they want to be. So when they run into somebody like myself on somebody else's panel, all they want to do is talk about what they heard over there. This shit happens all the time. I know where you got that shit from. And then it turns into bitch ass nigga. Man, I'm gonna pull up, drop the addy, man. Drop the addy, goddammit, pull up. That's where that shit comes from. Because you have listened to that speaker that's over there. You've listened to the content enough to know what they keep on repeating. So when you finally bump into them in passing, and the conversation is Crawford Spence or whatever the case may be, you know what the fuck they repeating. All he had to do was sign the contract. Sign the contract. That ain't it, bro. It's just not that. Say, Kid Austin has been added to the Davis Garcia undercard. God dang, Kid Austin, his blisters healed up. He's back at it. No brand new shoes there, Kid Austin. Keep on going in there, putting them hands on them. Make sure you break them shoes in, brother. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you break them shoes in. For real, them blisters look something crucial. I love your soul, bro. You get on the Wakandas. Much enjoy. So when you're speaking about may not know who their daddies are, that's in the context of what? Because I didn't grow up with one. Okay, so Haynes is talking to Coach Malachi. Okay, I feel where you're going. Well, Coach, if he chooses to address that, that's up to him. You know what I'm saying? Well, Haynes' legacy is asking you that, Coach. And me and my brothers enjoy your show, so he got kind of upset that you said that, but he doesn't watch the show as frequently as I do. So I'm just trying to let him see that you don't mean it as if. Well, I can't. That's definitely something. If you were speaking to me, I will put but no, that's for Coach. So whether he wants to address it on here or in private, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's public record. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. They tell me, drop the addy, pull up, nigga, it's on. They want to take it to the streets. Shit. And sorry about my grammar, bro. I'm driving using the speaker to talk. Hey, man, goddamn. We got speaker. We got voice to text, god damn it. Shit, boy, when I was growing up, we had eyeballs on the road. We didn't even have mobile phones, shawty. It wasn't no internet except in your crib. You had to sit there and listen to that shit dial up. Oh, good. The connection is here. Good. Shit. Oh, my God. I thought the way that damn dial-up sounded, I wouldn't be able to connect today. Hey, Mom, Dad, we connected. Thank God we connected. Thank you for getting internet. I love you. I just like your day. I'm going to trim the hedges. Thank you. Listen, y'all, the damn shit was so fucked up. We talking about going on online. We really didn't have no social media groups like this to talk. Like, real talk. Like, it's some people that could relate to MySpace back in the day, but come on, bro. This shit wasn't as infested as it is now. It wasn't infested, bro. Man, on YouTube, folks idolize content creators to make their minds. I never take it as end all be all. I think for myself, it'd be like avoiding coats out here. All I can say to that, Jones, is you're right about idolizing content creators. Now, it's great to be considered an average civilian in life, but yet when you come on YTC, you have a whole different population of people who support you. You have the opportunity on social media to have more people support you than you do in your real life. That's just fact. And a lot of people that have shit going on in their real life can never experience this type of activity, can never experience this type of so-called camaraderie. It's just no way you can have this many people that will rock with you in real life unless you got money, or you gang affiliated, or any type of organization you may be a part of, a fraternity, a sorority, something. So when they come on here, they feel like this is a sense of empowerment. They can get on here behind their damn logo and channel and be a whole nother person. Not only that, just imagine me having 15 to 20 people that rock with me on a regular day. 15 to 20 people. It's people on here. It's people on here, Haynes, right? Who did that? Jones? Let me see. Who put that comment up there? Jones. Just imagine this. They're talking about 9,000. They're talking about 10,000, 50,000 people, right? Imagine having 50,000 people that know you in your real life, that you communicate with, and you get to freaking meet up sometime or another for lunch. 50,000. Just imagine those 50,000 people donating to you at the door just to join you. Now, to me, that is a successful businessman. To me, that is a person that understands that you have a group of people that believe and trust in you. So they're going to donate at the door. They're going to be a part. They're going to pay to be in your presence. Now, just take those business people that's in real life that has built themselves up to be successful as they want to be, and then take the knuckleheads that are on the YTC. These individuals that's a part of a platform that says they have 50,000 subscribers. Within that 50,000 subscribers, they may have only met two or three of those subscribers that may reside in their same geographical location. Within the 50,000, only 10 of them may donate to the channel every now and then. But this is where they feel that they are the same individual that is out there in civilian life that's really popping, that's really making this shit happen, that's really an entrepreneur and really out here making those finances work for him and other people, her and other people. You know what I'm saying? But on here, that's why you have these cults. This is why you have, because these people become like dictators on these channels. Get the likes up, God damn it. I'm not going to tell you again. I hear people speaking or pontificating to their audience to basically drop another super chat to support the channel, God damn it. why should it be that way? You know what I'm saying? If the people are tuning into your channel all the time and they really fucking with your content, they should then automatically freely initiate a super chat. That's when you know you have a following. So these people on the YTC, they feel empowered that they can get their people to drop super chats and support them. But in real life, it's no growth to what they have going on. It's just a temporary band-aid, a social media band-aid, and you got a group of people that's with you. And then you hear this, right? You hear that everything is going well, this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, some of your supporters that used to rock with you heavy, they bounce. They're no longer affiliated. They're no longer going to your channels. This is the back and forth shit that goes on. They've supported you throughout the period of time, enough to the point where word of mouth has gotten more people to tune into your channel. But ultimately, the success of your channel depends on you, the content that you disseminate, and how people perceive you to visit your channel, listen, and donate. The success of a channel deals with donations, man. This shit is hard work. It's people out there that has other talents to grow their channel to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like you see True Media having Rick Glaser on there. You know what I'm saying? Having people call in. You know, having other layers to how they communicate to their audience. That's good shit. The Boxing Voice, having a team, having interviews, you know, just level changing. It all depends, but I do support the smaller channels. I do support the small channels, man, because you at the end of the day, the host is what put out the information. The host has put out the information, and the viewers is who support it. So if they really fucking with you, the host, on the information that you're putting out to the public, they're going to support you. They're going to first be in attendance, all right? And then they're going to drop you some super chats or some cash apps. That's just the way the system works. Coach said Haynes' legacy, most, not all, who grew up in a single family household, some of these guys look for fathers outside of the home. There's no example of what true manhood is, so they act out online. I'd rather be A1 in the real world than known on YouTube. It makes no sense, man. Hey, everybody don't think that way. They don't think the way you thinking. Because your initial, your first, you know what I'm saying, visual every day is the real world. You have to get settled into the real world. You can be broke as fuck out here in the real world, struggling, going out here making your money the best way you know how. But then you find out YouTube. And then you've been sitting up here, you know, making paycheck to paycheck, busting your ass. So whoever you give your $2 to, your $5 to, your $10, you being in a situation, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but you have to be in a situation where you actually are feeling this person. It's some trust and respect there. You say, okay, I like this person. I'll drop a super chat every now and then to support them. Knowing that you're not going to get that money back, because you know a lot of people that do it, they don't have channels. A lot of content creators don't go to other channels in masses to support them with a super chat or a cash app, because they already have other priorities going on. If they're, you know, sitting up here researching their next content for their next live stream, or you know, they just feel like it's better for them to build up their structure first. You know what I'm saying? It's not that across the board. You have other people that come in here and keep it across the board equal. But this shit is crazy, bro. I try not to come in here and be stunned on motherfuckers and you know, dropping hot grease. But some of these dudes deserve it. For real, they deserve it, man. And you would be surprised at how many other dudes that has nothing to do with the situation, they'll get mad for you applying that hot grease to somebody that they don't really fuck with. So you might have did it in a way that they were saying, damn, okay. They'll start feeling some type of way about the person you did it to. Not really going back in time to say, okay, what did that person do for him to damn feel the way he feel? They just get mad. Oh man, fuck him, man. I fuck with so and so. You know, I fuck with so and so though. I don't know what this dude talking about. I fuck with so and so. And then they come over here and try to troll. Nah, bro. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy, bro. You mean to say, Haynes Legs, I grew up without my father as well. But I had some really good father figures in my life. I had a villager man as well as women who raised me. I was taught how to be responsible. Okay, we kicking some goddamn knowledge, man. Haynes and Coach exchanging, you know what I'm saying? It's no nigga this, nigga that. I mean, kicking some real life shit. Real life shit, man. Samad on deck. What they do, Samad? Peace and blessings, love. Salute, WCS. Salute to you there, Samad. Thank you, brother, for pulling up. Thank you for pulling up, brother. Smash the like button on the way in. Salute to the chat. No doubt, no doubt. For real, and be ready to get down over a cat they never seen. For real, right? They be willing to talk about drop the addy and all that, man. Come on, man. Man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. At the end of the day, man, salute to everyone who pulled up today. I don't want to, tarnish the live stream by staying on here too long. But man, check it out. Hit the replay on this. Hopefully you got some information, some knowledge on this. Check out the article. I'll drop the link in here again. You know what I'm saying? I'll drop the link in here again on Yahoo. I thought it was a very informative article. It highlighted a lot of areas that really are responsible for us not getting the fights that we want to get. And we can't draw it into YouTube and blame a fighter and run smear campaigns on these fighters like Bud Crawford, who's doing other things outside of boxing. So he's still fighting in boxing, and he's making business moves outside of boxing. So that brother should be commended. Appreciate it, there, Jones. Salute to you. Everybody that's on deck, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. Hit the like button on your way out and support. Donate, whatever you choose. I'm out.